Welcome to episode 112. I can't believe it, of Mind Power Meets Mystic. This is Michelle Walters. I am coming to you solo today. Cynthia Varkevisser has a much deserved day off. I am the mind power of Mind Power Meets Mystic. I am a clinical hypnotherapist and business coach. Cynthia is our mystic, and she's off mysticizing somewhere. So you guys get me this week. I'm going to talk about hypnosis and particularly the power of hypnosis for life transitions. We all go through life transitions, some of us, lots and lots and lots of them. And hypnosis can be an extremely powerful tool for helping to cope with all of that change, all of that stuff going on that you just don't really know what to do with. So I personally have gone through a ton of transitions. Some of them I have leaned into hypnosis to get a little help along the way. Some of them I had to cope with without the tools of hypnosis. Truth be told, I was helped a lot along the way by my previous teacher and confidant. Her name was Karen Gresham, and she died a couple of years ago, but she played a very important part of my role in my life and helped with a number of my significant transitions. For those of you who don't know that much about me, I'm an American citizen. I've spent most of my life in the US, although I've done a fair amount of traveling and I have done some work overseas. I've had a number of moves around the US. I've lived in Seattle and California and Dallas. I've had two life partners so far, maybe more to come. And I've had umpteen jobs. I worked in digital marketing for a very long time. And because of that kind of market, I was always getting a new job. I got so many new jobs, I wrote a book about it. My book is called An Alignment of Spirit, Finding Work You Love. If this is something that you're interested in, if you're interested in manifesting and some of the science and my stories behind it, pick up a copy. It's for sale over at Amazon and wherever great books are sold. So, today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about transitions and what makes them so hard. Well, what makes them so hard, and this shouldn't come as a surprise, is that it's all about uncertainty and fear of the unknown. We as humans are wired to want to stay in places in our comfort zone. That is our personal nature. And so when you're that kind of like, I don't want things to change, then you have to move or you find love, which can be very exciting, or lose love, which can be very depressing. And you got to deal with those transitions. Or maybe you are looking for a new job and you need to interview and be lots of different people to lots of different kinds of companies and opportunities. Maybe you're starting a new job and you need to figure out, what do these people really want? And did they pick me for the right reasons? Am I going to do great at this? So there's a lot of things that happen in a person's life that have to do with transitions. And some of the work, some of that transitioning is stuff that you do at a conscious level, like, if you're moving, where's my new house? Where's the new grocery store? Where's the new gas station? Like thinking about all of those things that you need to line up for your new life. And some of the transition process is happening at a deeper level. What's really going on with me? Why did the relationship need to end? What am I going to do when I'm in the new job? Am I confident enough? Am I skilled enough? A lot of those questions are happening sort of below the surface, and that is where hypnosis can really help. So I've worked with a whole different variety of clients on various different concerns or transitions that they were going through. And what I want to share in this episode, without naming names, is to give you a little bit of some ideas of some of the ways that I've been able to use hypnosis to help my clients to cope with times of transition. One of the first ones I want to talk about is moving, relocating, or even deciding if you should relocate. Hypnosis can be a powerful tool to get into the subconscious mind and look at what maybe some of those fears are, what some of those worries about uncertainties are in order to help decide, like, should you move? So I had a client a few years ago who came to me, and she was living on the East Coast and was interested in moving to Florida. Wasn't sure if it was a good idea. She had some friends in Florida, and some of that was good, and some of that was giving her some hesitation. And we were able to use a hypnotic state to help her access those deeper emotional feeling parts of her and weave those parts of her into her decision-making process to see if moving was the right thing. And what, in her case, we discovered that she was worried about some of these things, but she was going to have tools and techniques to help her with the relocation process. I've also worked with people sort of after a move that maybe didn't come out quite the way they thought it would, and help them to be able to adjust, to find their strengths, and be able to use this technique, this powerful technique of hypnosis, to really get at the deeper thoughts and feelings of what's going on, and to either use it for decision-making processes or sometimes for changing your approach to things. You know, you can change your approach, you can change the way that you're feeling by amplifying certain feelings and downplaying other feelings. And that can be really a very powerful tool for using hypnosis when it comes to a transition like a move. Another transition that has come my way more than one time is transitions in relationships. And the biggest one that I've seen come through my door, probably because it's a transition that's kind of immediate and heartbreaking, and it happens maybe when you didn't really expect it to, is breakups. And I have had several clients who've come to see me because they were just not coping well with a major breakup. And the reason why people break up, I mean, that's all very individual. Some of the people have broken up and I get it, and some of the people have broken up and they really didn't get it, why they were going through this. But what hypnosis can do is get you so relaxed that you can see things in a new way, and maybe see things in a way of realizing, like, wow, we really weren't meant to be. Or, wow, I stayed with this guy a long time, even though there were signs that he really wasn't a good fit for me, or he didn't have values that matched mine. And the power of using hypnosis for those kinds of transitions is it can really help to smooth out one's feelings, to release a lot of that anger and that emotional content in order to help somebody move from one place to another. I want to remind everybody who's watching this video or who is listening to this podcast, you are listening to me, Michelle Walters, on Mind Power Meets Mystic. My co-host Cynthia Varkevisser has the day off. One more kind of transition I want to talk about, and I think hypnosis can be a powerful tool for this. So powerful, I wrote a book, is getting jobs and changing jobs. Getting jobs and changing jobs is a very, very hard thing to do. And there are people who do it more gracefully than others. There are people who do it frequently. There are people who've had one job for 20 years and don't really know what I'm talking about. I believe that the way that the labor market is structured is that getting and changing jobs and short-term jobs and projects and gig work, all of this has been on the rise for a while, and I don't see it changing. As AI comes into our lives, we are just going to have more and more shifts, changes, uncertainties, new ways of doing things that are going to make our working lives more and more complicated. Some of those changes need to be handled with conscious thought, and that's where my coaching comes into play. Some of these changes are best handled when a client is in a relaxed state, which is really what hypnosis is, and can look and think and review what's going on in order to work out what things need to be let go of and where do they have strengths that they can amplify in these situations? What are the strengths they're bringing to the new job? What are the strengths that they want to emphasize in an interview? These are all things that come up naturally in the conversations about and in hypnosis, and are definitely ways that I have been able to help my clients. So here's an example. I had a client, he was a very, very nice fellow, realtor in the San Francisco Bay Area, and he was struggling with some confidence challenges. Pretty normal kind of thing as one is embracing the requirements of a new job. Well, hypnosis was super powerful at helping him to be able to do this. When combined with my skills in coaching and helping him look at what he needed to do and having a little bit of an accountability partner, this became a very, very powerful tool for a person who was in transition. So I hope that this short episode of Mind Power Meets Mystic has helped you to understand a few ways that hypnosis and coaching can really come into play and be that push that you need in order to be more effective and to make these changes that can be so hard to make. Thank you for listening. That's the end of this week's episode for Mind Power Meets Mystic. Bye.